it's like when you're writing, the creative juices can only flow like so much, really. But then like when you're like in the moment, you're collaborating with people in the booth. It just, I don't know, just there's different sparks that happen. Yeah. You know.
For me, it's like I kind of refer to it as gay coding because this is something that I did. You know, I've directed a lot of titles that are queer content. You know, about LGBTQ characters. It's kind of like been my specialty for the last several years. And there is a very specific way to go into a script and code it so that it resonates with the family. You know what I mean? And generally you don't get that in a script because generally scripts aren't written by queer people in this business. But Leah wrote, you know, you can't do what we did with this script without a great backbone. And Leah gave us a brilliant backbone as the script writer. As did, of course, the original Japanese script. But for me, my mission was, and really the answer to the question is I changed just about everything that came out of my mouth. And it was because, like, I wanted to make sure, because none of the people working on this show grew up gay in the 80s, right? And Adam did. So I wanted to make sure that that was intact in him and part and parcel to his identity, because he had made a hyper identity out of it, right? I mean, he was like Batman / Frankenfurter. So he was writing that way, and like, so I wanted to make sure that he was coded in a way that people who understood that culture would hear themselves in there. You know.
Was bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes in the script?
Oh God, no. No, that was just, you know, it commonly happens. You know, we'd be working on a piece of script, and like in anime, in our dubs, text is liquid until it's recorded. And it depends on the actor. A writer might write a line that feels like, that's going to time out great, looking at the flaps, that's going to be great. But they have their own rhythm of speech, and ours are all different. So once we speak the line, we can try to sort of like morph ourselves and try to make the line fit as written. But more commonly, we'll use our own impulses to like add little bits, little things. Certainly not anything as broad, or a pause. Certainly not anything as broad as what I did with that episode 8 stuff. That was pretty unheard of. But there was heat. Oh, there was heat. You know, the text will change to accommodate the actor who's speaking it to a certain extent. And so that's something we're all very used to in this business. But because Kyle Phillips, our director, Chris Wakamp, our assistant director, we're very amenable to letting our impulses govern the trajectory of these characters, insofar as we could, you know, without changing them from their original incarnation. You know, we were able to sort of juice lines a little bit. And as a director, I love that, because that makes it certain that all the characters have individual voices, and they're not all their dialogue is written by the same individual in the same pattern of speech, and so you get very samey sounding dialogue in a dub like that. But these characters all lived and breathed on us in this dub, and so what we are infused those characters, and it made it what it is. There you go.
I'm just glad they let me make manga Canadian. Wait, like them sound Canadian. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
No, like I made sure I was like, I need to say like sorry in the story.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we all have like things we do. Even like the hello moment was in the moment. The directors had an idea that like he's maybe hanging on Joe, and I was like, sweet baby. Oh, sweet straight baby. No, that's okay. We'll try a different way.
You all know, you have to sort of hold the hands of the heterosexuals a little bit. Bring them along for the ride. Bless them. What would we be without him?
Yeah, the whole cadence thing is correct because like I speak. I don't really speak like nobody speaks like an anime character, right? So
What are you talking about?
You got your little
Don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who we are. But yeah, the whole yeah, there's a lot of like fun stuff that you're able to do. Like, for example, when you're working on any anime, whenever you don't see a mouth or you're not on screen or whatever, it's pretty much cruise control to be like, hey, you're an actor, act, go for it, have fun, enjoy it. There's no, there's no track there. Just engage with the medium and the text and stuff like that. So there were a lot of times like that. There were a lot of Joe is kind of like a little bit of he's like a surfer, but he's a land surfer, right? He's like a surfer bro, but he surfs the land, right? Even his board is kind of like he's like a fish, right? So there was a lot of dudes and bros and man and come on, and I personally as an actor, I like to contract a lot of stuff because when you see it in the text, it's rarely contracted. It's a lot of like cannot, will not, can't, shouldn't, can't, like that kind of stuff. But yeah, the better question is what didn't we change? I don't remember. We shot cruise control, and I think we all said in the booth several times, "Hey, let's do that." Yeah, and they might. We'll try. We'll put it on there.
Yeah, no pickups.
Yeah, no pickups.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is some good stuff in there. I think the whole charring his chesticles for vocals and was Leo. I was like, so yeah, it was pretty fun. Very good question.
Alright, we'll move on to a couple solos. We got Jonah first because he's